Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rohit Srivastava and this is series Answer from Rohit, and this is my first episode of this series. Even this is my first video in the channel. So please show some love and subscribe to my channel for such types of videos. In this episode, I cover the most common question that I get in my Instagram DMs. That is how to start programming, or you can say how to start coding. We will talk about what is difference between programming and coding in the next video. But in this video, we talking about how to start programming or coding. I am excited to dive into this today. So my secret to learn any programming language is building something for yourself with the help of code, and that is my first point in this episode, and that is create something with code. And by that I mean, when you learning any programming language, try to build something with that language for ourselves and don't focus too much on a specific technology. If I give my example, when I start any programming language, I spend 30% of my time in reading books or watching study material of that language, and 70% of my time I utilize for creating something with that language. For example, when I was learning C programming language, I built some management applications like library management applications, hotel management applications. As library management application stores all the information about books, student who issue the book. And when I was learn Python, I create some automate bot of WhatsApp or Instagram. And the second point of this episode is good practice over practice. So when I was in high school and playing for my school team, my coach told me that it's not a practice that make us perfect, but a perfect or a good practice make us perfect. Why that? He means that when you are doing or when you practice something, do not waste your time on useless things. And this thing I follow in my programming. So when I practice of any programming language, I do not waste my time on similar topics which I already learned in another language. So I focus on the important topics because that ultimately make a huge difference in my coding skill. And the third point is pair with someone more experienced than you. One of the fastest way of leveling up and improving programming skill is to get into the mind of different developer with more experience than you. If you are not familiar with the pair programming, here I will tell you how it works. Pair programming is generally split into two separate roles. One person is a driver who drive the keyboard, which means who use the keyboard to type the code, and the other person, and the role of second person is like a navigator who is responsible for keeping the person using the keyboard on the right track. The absolute fastest way to learn is to pair program with someone who has more experience than you. It is also important that if you have less programming experience, you drive the process while the more experienced person help you to navigate. The reason is pretty simple. As you are the driver, it's your job to write and understand the code better. It is a navigator job to make sure the right code gets written in the right way. Having someone teach you one-on-one through live instructions, you will have the opportunity to get personalized instructions on the go, which is the best possible way to learn. And the fourth and the last point is don't break the streak. This is the most important point because it's good when we practice code, but after some days when you just don't feel like opening your laptop or reading books or write a single line of code. To prevent yourself from giving up, I recommended using a technique popularized by Jerry Seinfeld called "Don't Break the Chain." This method is very simple. You start with a calendar and every day you practice programming. You give yourself a green check marks. Once you practice 2 days in a row, you started a chain. The longer your chain grow, the more pressure you feel to preserve it. You will be surprised at how much effort you will be put into about breaking your chain once it grows long enough. If you miss a day or two due to some personal reason, just start a new chain. The only thing that can stop you from learning to program is quitting. You need to take small steps each day that will get you the large goal at the end. And one warning for the new programmers. One mistake new programmers often make is trying to learn multiple programming languages at once. Just like trying to learn Spanish and Italian at the same time, you will find that there are some elements of the language which are similar to each other, but their meanings are different. Will probably get some wire crossed. It is most common that I see the new programmer to post a message in Facebook group saying that they are learning Python, Java, JavaScript, HTML and CSS all at once. When you first start programming, focus on learning one language at a time. Don't try learn everything at once. If you have any question, leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them all. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I am making a lot more video now, so you don't want to miss out on those.